Hey everybody, Darren Cross here. Welcome to Module 8. We are in the last module of Business 400, Driving Business Opportunity. This is where you're going to do a couple of things. First of all, we're going to dig into the PESTLE. I've been calling it pest analysis all my life, and theorists are starting to add the LE on the end of it. So we're going to do a pest or PESTLE analysis, and what that is a macro environmental analysis of the outside things. Now, we kind of have been looking at this along the way. And what we're looking at, and I'll tell you why it went from pest to pestle. So traditionally it was pest, and you're looking at the external environment, right? So you're looking at political, and it used to be political and legal or regulatory environment. So that L from legal is now the L in the pestle. So the political environment, the economic environment, so what's going on outside of your company, the economic environment, the sociocultural environment, and the technological environment outside of your company. Now the extra L and the E stand for legal and environmental. So environmental used to be in with sociocultural, but what we're really looking at is what is going on outside of the company that is going to show up as a threat or an opportunity for us. Okay, so you need to look out there in order to determine if the environment out there is actually going to help make it easier for us to achieve our goal or make it tougher for us to achieve our goal. And our goal here is to roll out the project, the innovation that you've been talking about for 7 modules now. So you're going to actually look into that material, and then you're going to include that with the next assignment, which we're going to talk about now. So when we look at this, I always want to just go over this so that you all understand. Now, this is baffling to me because every week I have put out a video and I have gone over these things and I have said these words. Please include the headings in the prompt actually in your paper. And some of you are still not doing that. And when you don't do that, it's throwing you off. It's very rare that someone can just go through and write and they're hitting all of the points. But for the most part, when people don't put these headings into their whatever their assignment is, they just start talking about all kinds of stuff. And really, your assignments should be super succinct. I want you to focus only on what we're talking about here, right? So what we're doing here, this is kind of like your final submission, right? So you're talking about what happens after you are well, we did our project submission in module 7, but now it's about what happens after we've done that and how do we handle life after that, right? So we're going to look at these elements, and this should be super succinct. You can do this in one page. I want you to actually be as succinct as possible. I don't want you to get off in the weeds, okay? So we're going to have these 4 things. Use these as headings on your paper, okay? So your business continuity plan. What you're going to say is, hey, what is going to happen in the case of an emergency? So in case of an emergency. So what you're going to do is you're going to talk about the key functional areas of your business, and then talk about one measure that you're actually going to put into place in order to actually keep things going if there's an emergency, okay? Post-launch stage. Propose new ideas for the post-launch stage. Include one idea for your product or service improvement that you plan to implement after the launch. One idea for increasing your customer base or engagement. So you have this idea. What kind of is the next stage of that idea? That's really what you're saying here. And you don't need to super explain it. You can explain it. Each one of these things is like one paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences. Okay, so you can explain this in one paragraph. You've been talking about feedback loops. You talked about it last module. Now you're going to actually talk about that discussion that you had. You're going to talk about how you're going to use feedback loops. Use this, do this in one paragraph, right? So I'm going to use feedback loops to get information from this group. Then we're going to use that information to blah, 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 okay? And then from your pest analysis the material that you got from this module, you actually talk about things in these environments that are going to come into play. So after you do the pestle analysis, what is this says we're going to identify at least one external risk factor. So you don't need to go over all of the you don't need to do a complete pest analysis. I think that that's pretty cumbersome, but I want you to do one, kind of like jot it down on paper, and then look at the things that are in your external environment, and I want you to find the biggest thing that you think is the biggest threat to your company. Okay. Now this says that you're going to identify one factor and then provide a solution or a contingency plan for handling that risk. So once you've identified that, then you can say, here's how we plan to handle it. You can still do this in one paragraph, 3 to 5 sentences. So you'll say, after conducting the pest analysis, I identified the biggest risk to be blank in the political environment. This could have this effect on my business because of this, and my solution is to put this measure into play, which should actually solve the problem. Okay, so stay super focused. Try to do this in one page. I want you to stay super focused, and I want you to put these as headings on your paper, right? And that way you give me 3 to 5 sentences on each. Okay, so congratulations, we are at the finish line. You just got to go strong, and you have to finish strong, and you will get to the end. But if you have any questions at all, I want you to reach out to me. Okay, so good luck, everybody.